Sometimes you are the one who needs to take the lead. And that might be hard, but that is what we're talking about today on Set to Love. Welcome.
You can live a life in flow where your deepest heart's desires become reality.
You are here to contribute through your essence, fall deeper in love with your life and the journey that you are on.
Take what works, ditch the rest, and always stay set to love.
Thank you for being a part of this community. We're all designed to live in flow. So let's go.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing good.
Yeah.
How was your Easter?
Oh, it was so good. Yeah, everything was just, what a beautiful just weekend we had. Everything was so great. What about you?
It was very relaxed. I had to get my second shot. So I stayed home, just thinking just in case, which I was a little bit tired, but thank goodness so far everything's fine besides a sore arm. But we heated the pool and
Nice.
we laid in the pool for a while and we did a little gardening. My kids were both doing other things, so I didn't get to see them. And so Bob and I just enjoyed one another. And then David, my stepson, came over with his girlfriend and had dinner with us. And it was really great. A great day.
Aw, that's lovely. I'm so glad. Well, yay. Thanks for being here today. And thanks everyone out there for being here today too. We are talking about taking the lead. And for those of you who know our show, every once in a while we dive into Patrick Lindsay's book. This one is Make the Most of You. And there's so many just great, it's like a really simple book, cute little prompts and stuff. And so sometimes Shelly and I get our show ideas from these books because everything's so positive. So this one jumped out to us today and we wanted to chat about it. Take the lead. Sometimes it's up to you. You're the logical person to lead the way. Sometimes fear or modesty prevents you, but you'll know when the time is right. Ignore the fear. It will evaporate. Take command, follow your instincts. And the quote is from Napoleon Bonaparte: a leader is a dealer in hope. All right. So yeah, I'm so excited to talk about this. The first thing that comes to my mind was a few years ago, Thanksgiving. I was up with Julian's family in Lake Tahoe and no one had made plans. Like our plan for Thanksgiving dinner was to go to this one casino and they have this giant buffet. And when we got there, the line was down the hall, wrapped around the corner. It was like 2 hours long. And there was a big group of us and we had little people with us. And there was just no way we were going to wait 2 hours. And then there was like not even a guarantee. And the 2 hours, we'd already got there a little bit late, was going to be so late. So there was so much sitting around and like contemplating, well, do we stay? Well, do we go? Do people go downstairs and gamble and someone waits in line? Do we? And it was just after about 30 minutes of me kind of sitting back because it wasn't, this was a couple years ago and I was still kind of newish to the family and I didn't want to just jump right in, but I just knew I am a planner. Like I run summer camps. I combat this kind of crazy stuff, right? Like when things don't work out, I'm really good at shifting and pivoting. So I sat back for a while and finally I'm like, okay, I'm just going to start calling around. So I just opened my phone, typed in Thanksgiving dinner, South Tahoe, looked to see what restaurants were open, called a few places. I found a place that could seat us all right away. And it was this beautiful table. They had a full Thanksgiving dinner ready, like a meal that you could order, and they had wine and beers. And it was just so beautiful. It ended up being like such an amazing, beautiful dinner. But it was like one of those moments where I just thought, if I don't do this, we might just stand here all night debating what we should do. And we're just going to be like, screw it. Now it's too late, and just go back to the house. We were all renting a house together. So I feel like sometimes we just feel that like within us, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. It's that little comment that it's up to us to sometimes take the lead.
Well, I think sometimes the same people usually take the lead. Like, I feel like sometimes, I'm not proud of this, but it kind of just is the way it is. But like for Bob on a trip, I usually look to him for what we're doing and how we're doing it, because he's really good at that. And so I wonder what that feels like to him, to always have the weight on his shoulders. Is everybody going to have a good time? You know what I mean? Taking in everybody's input. And then, it's even just like our trip we planned to Tulum. We just found out from a friend who's staying at the place we're supposed to stay at that it might not be a really perfect fit for us. So now to pivot or whatever, everyone is going to look to Bob, but thank goodness Brittany is taking the lead now, and she is going to step in and check out a couple of hotels where we won't have some of these issues, and we're going to collaborate together. And thank goodness we have hopefully enough time. But it's true, if somebody doesn't, in some ways, I feel like I just freeze, like, oh no, now what?
Well, I think it plays to whatever your strengths are. Some people are really great trip planners. So like this past weekend, we had gone to see Carson's. We went up to Northern California for Carson's birthday, a second birthday, Julian's nephew. And I kept saying to him, like, I'm always the one who contacts his family. I'm always the one texting. I'm always the one making the plans. And so I thought, well, I'm just going to sort of put it in his court. Like, do you want to go? And can you reach out to your parents? And do you want to reach out to your sister? We're bringing the kids. Usually we just go. It's a lot easier when it's just us, but we had the kids, and he has nephews that are right around Evan and the twins' age also, and they've never really met. So I'm like, let's just bring them. But he didn't call his sister. He didn't call his parents. And I just left it in his court. Like, should I just book a hotel? Should I just book a hotel? And finally it was Friday. I mean, we're leaving that day. He's like, I don't know. I mean, we'll just show up. And I said, we cannot just show up 5 people at your parents' house. Like, this is not how it works. What if, like, they might need to pick up something, or maybe they have plans, or maybe they have a guest, or, we can't. So finally I just ended up booking the hotel, just taking the lead and booking the hotel. And then his family was like, why would you book a hotel? You are family. You always stay with us. And so then I'm like throwing Julian under the bus. Like, look, I left it up to him. I can't always be the one. I mean, I can. They're like, you need to be the one. So I was like, okay, I'll just.
But his instincts were right. His instincts with his family were right. Obviously, they, that's really nice family and very warm and inviting. I think I do best on taking the lead when there's if I don't have time to think about it, I'm usually better. Like, let's just say we're at a wedding and we're short a boutonniere. I mean, I can grab a flower and make a boutonniere in like 2 seconds. I can fix this, or, I'm really pretty good on not panicking last minute. But if you give me too much time, I'm not as good. I mean, it's not that I won't. If there's no one, meaning like if I didn't have Bob, I would take the lead, because I would know that's my role. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like for my kids or whatever, it would be up to me to take the role. But being a little bit spoiled with Bob, I kind of give him the lead a lot of times. And then I just tell him what I want. That's really bratty. But
I think it is not.
But I'm super grateful.
I think sometimes we just need to, like, yes.
He's just so good at it.
It's all different,
He's really good at
taking the lead. And I think that when and so I think that's really important, like being able to just know where people's strengths are. I remember when I first joined Toastmasters, I looked at one of the guys who used to be he's been in several roles. And I just said, I'm just here to speak. I don't want any leadership roles. I know that I could do it, but I also don't want to. I just want to enjoy being a member, because I think running an organization and being the one who always has to take the lead, sometimes it's nice to not take the lead and to just step back. But then, of course, it came around.
Yeah, now you're the
time,
president.
Yeah. And they needed
you end up going in that. People see that in you, and you're really good at it. But I think that's the other thing in taking the lead. It's a little bit off track, but it's almost like you said, finding people's strengths Sometimes there are people that really are. I'm a great co-pilot. Like, I think the co-pilot deal for me, I can think for you before you even tell me what you need. I already know. And I'm so good at that. But sometimes I just don't like being that person to take the lead. And I think so you shouldn't be hard on someone that really isn't a leader person. You know that in them. And I think that's why when you're in relationships and everybody kind of does take their roles, that everybody knows that. So why do you try to change or not accept what is? Like, that's almost like my husband expects me. Here's a for instance. If we're in a group of people, Bob relies on me to keep the conversation going, to be loving, to make people feel welcome, blah, blah. And like, he'll sit there and say very few words at times. You know what I mean? And I'm like, in my mind, I'm not panicking, but I'm thinking, okay, how am I going to get everybody to do this? But that's what I'm good at, right? That's something that I can do to make, and it's just a natural thing. I love people. I don't meet really a stranger. So I can pull people in and be very loving and make people feel comfortable. I'm good at that. So Bob relies on me. He'll put me in a situation with all his business associates. I've gone to different meetings or whatever, and I don't even know. He knows them, and I don't even know them. And I'm the person making conversation.
But is that hard for you, Shelly? Or is that like, I would have zero problem with that.
That's what I'm saying. It's my strength. So that's why he relies on, like, a lot of times he wants to bring me because he realizes that I can pull the people in, and I don't know how else to explain that, is taking the lead of what you're good at. It doesn't mean you're not good at everything. So you can't always take the lead. Right. You know what I'm saying?
And, I totally agree with that. And just to touch on something that I keep thinking about, I think it's really important that when you're in like crisis mode, when something does just randomly come up, whether it's, let's say your trip to Cancun, that now you have to replan, or Tulum, you have to replan like your hotel. You can go into panic mode, or you can just go into strategic mode. And so I think that when I think about taking the lead in like crisis situations or situations that could cause you to easily go to crazy town, that's probably when it's the most important to just pause, take a few deep breaths, and just think, it's up to me. I can do this. I can figure it out. Everything is figure outable. There is a way. We will figure this, no matter, it's just, we can't control whatever happened. Instead of just going, off the rails and panicking, that's not really good leadership. So being able to, when little things come up, like let's say the hotel, when you have plenty of time to figure it out and plan something, that's going to gives you time to practice that. So when something does happen, that's like, it needs to be dealt with right now, right away, in an emergency, you practice taking the lead in small ways throughout, whatever the weeks or months, that when something big happens, you're able to do it. Especially when
I look at it like this. Brittany this morning said, Mom, I need to have a conversation with you about our trip. So even how you accept this information is really important too. Like,
and how she presented it. We need to have it, not like, oh my gosh, Mom, you will not believe
Mom, I have to have a conversation. The place that we're staying is nice and everything, but these are some of the issues that Carrie saw when she was there. We're not really right on the beach. You got to go down 4 sets of stairs. The pool is blah, blah. The road takes 40 minutes to get in, 5 miles. It's completely different than what we had anticipated. So, if you want, I have a couple of hotels that they have villas, and we can still be together. I think I'm going to check those out today. And all I'm saying is, instead of going, and making it even a bigger deal and causing a fuss, how you take changes too. Yes. And she was calm. So of course I'm going to stay calm. So now we're just now we just have to research more, and we have to check what our other options are and what our dates are and what are we going to have to do and if worst case scenario, the place is still beautiful. If we end up there, we'll make the
Mhm.
best of it.
When is your trip?
It's not until June.
I'm so excited for you.
Yeah. That's my
Well, what is-
60th birthday present.
I love it. It's like a forever party for your
I
60th.
know, right?
Get all this-
Turn 60 and get completely spoiled.
Well, I'm so grateful for this conversation, and I hope that it helps someone out there that you don't be afraid. When that opportunity comes up for you to take the lead, just do it. I mean, especially if no one else is doing it. I mean, it's better than just sitting around and doing nothing. So don't be afraid to just put yourself out there, step out of your comfort zone every once in a while. And if it's not something that you feel comfortable doing and you do have a Bob or you have a Brittany or you have someone in your life
Yeah.
that is willing to step in and take the lead, then let them. You don't always have to be the one to take
And
the
have a
lead
good
if there's someone
attitude,
who
though.
is.
When you're on the receiving end of that person that's taking the lead, be supportive to them, because that is
Mm.
not an easy role. And that's why
Right.
I say I completely stay grateful for Bob and for Brittany, because those roles, they take a lot of pressure on. So I
Mhm.
don't want to add to the mix. I want to be supportive and helpful, not add more stress.
That's
So
a beautiful way
on
to
that
end.
note, what a great day.
What
So
a
everyone, you can find us at settolove.com. Also, if you'd like to talk with us or send us a message, you can find us at settolovepodcast at gmail.com. We're here weekday mornings. Thank you again for being here with us. We love you so much. I love you, best friend.
Love you, best
And
friend.
have a great day. Hit the bell.